Morteza, CEO and founder of PurCity, and we are based in Copenhagen. The story behind PurCity, it goes to very much back to my childhood. When I was a kid, one of my best friends, due to the high level of air pollution in our cities, she got lung cancer and passed away. And that tragedy affected me on all my life, and I was always trying to come up with solutions or do something that can help, kind of solve this issue or help, decrease this issue. So when I finished my education at Denmark Technical University, I was working for a company for a couple of months to develop the next project generation, and I came up with the idea of using the facade as a kind of a filtration process, because we have a lot of buildings around the world, and buildings alone are the majority contributors as to produce 40% of global energy consumption, and CO2 emissions are coming from the buildings. And this is beside the fact that when you're constructing a building, you're using so much pollution, you're consuming so much energy. Those are fuel-based energy. So generally speaking, buildings are one of the biggest problems in the world, and the way they're functioning, it's not efficient and it's not sustainable. So I came up with this idea that if we have a new type of construction panel, that it can be installed on the building from the outside. And this would be a process that we use the natural ventilation on the building to suck the pollution inside. And then we have a process, which through that process, we specifically target CO2 from the air, capture it, and then while we are doing that, we are cleaning the air as well, because basically we are washing the air. And then when we collect the pollution, we have a filtration process, we have a recirculation process. The output of the whole process would be electricity and pure CO2, which both of them are sellable materials in the market, and the liquid solution is a loop. Basically, it will be recycled and returned back into the system, so we will have continuous purification. And what will happen is that in the output of these panels, which are installed on the walls, the natural ventilation sucks the air, cleans through the panels, and then the cleaner goes all the way to the top of the building into the HVAC system, the air conditioning system, and then it will be released inside the building. So people inside the building can breathe a cleaner air. This would affect the environment of around the buildings a lot cleaner. So basically, if you imagine that these panels are installed on lots of buildings in the center of the cities, which the majority of the problem is that, and the concentration level of the pollution is actually higher than everywhere else. We are targeting those areas to capture the CO2, clean the air, and deliver the clean air. So large scale can literally affect the whole city in a scale that it can be cleaned, and people inside the building can breathe cleaner air. It's such an amazing system, and every day we are growing and we're coming up with new developments. We are very excited about the technology, and there are lots of companies who are actually starting to work with us. As a founder of this company, I'm extremely excited about what's going on and the next steps and the possibilities that a system like this can bring in people and into the environment around the cities. There are a couple of points we have to consider when it comes to the maintenance. First of all, it's an automatic maintenance system. So it has a control unit that it smartly controls everything. You wash the panels when it's required. The process is a filtration process in the system, which here you would need to exchange those filters. They are basically like normal water filters. Nothing as strange or like crazy. Very simple to do, and that's one part of the maintenance, and there will be some chemicals that once it be added into the system just for further purification. Other than that, what we are actually contributing to the building is a little bit more than what I just said. It's not just the CO2 capture, it's not just the cleaning the air. When we deliver this clean air into the HVAC system, we are decreasing the maintenance of the HVAC system by the factor of 3. And this would also affect the energy consumption on the HVAC system between 10 to 20%, which is a large amount. Basically, 60% of the whole building energy consumption is being consumed by the HVAC system, which we are actually decreasing by 10 to 20%. This is a great amount of energy consumption that is we are reducing. As well as when the maintenance comes down on the HVAC system, less pressure on the fan, process of the temperature control on the HVAC system, which would also some energy as well as some cost to the building. So those costs could be kind of shared into maintaining the product itself. So what a building owner will get is basically a lot cleaner air than what they have already, basically with no fee, if you wanted to consider it that way. On the other side, because we are producing electricity, chemical process, we are producing electricity. This electricity can be sold into the building owners, and this will decrease basically the CO2 emissions worldwide. The target market basically is a $250 billion per year with 10% growth rate, only on green building materials, and 25% of this market is actually exterior facades, which is $65 billion per year. This is a large market only from the construction point of view, if you're looking at it. As we are able to implement on any new existing buildings, our site, the possibilities of where to install, how to install it is actually larger, and the panels are actually capable of being installed on any flat surfaces. So that's a great advantage compared to all of the other solutions that they have to be in a specific location, a specific environment. There should be some specific requirements. Our technology is proven to be a lot more flexible, and we can actually add, the way we designed it, you can add like a Lego type, you can add panels on top of it, you can add panels on the void. So if you, for example, want to have a higher capacity air purification or CO2 capture, you will add more panels next to each other. The quality of the cleaning the air, it matters to you. You can add more layers into the filtration process, like horizontally. I mean, if you look at the design that I've sent, I think that would be very key from what I'm. But generally speaking, it's a very flexible product. It can be installed on lots of different locations, basically. Therefore, hospitals, airports, office buildings, schools. That, for example, is one of the examples that we're working on the design right now in one of the schools. They are all our target markets. The possibility endless. But what is very important is to find the right and strategic partners who are actually coming in, having a business with us. This is one of the most important things which we are actually having a very good conversation with several companies at the moment. And from the competitor point of view, there are a couple of companies who are trying to install similar products to clean the air, and the way the panels and the design, the whole structure was, from one point they were not able to capture CO2, from another point they were coating basically chemicals on the surfaces, which those chemicals require maintenance after a while. And then they were kind of relying on the rain to wash them down. So what happens is that, for example, one of those examples is in Mexico City. How much rain do we have in Mexico City? So after, let's say, a week or two, those panels are completely blocked and they don't do anything. Another example is in Milan. The same thing. We don't have lots of rain coming in Milan. So basically, lots of other companies try to do it, but their approach of using the material or the process were different with us. That is why, compared to us, we are actually having an active, a smart, multifunctional system that, part of it is a panel that is installed on the wall, and then there will be a system in the basement that it actually continuously maintains the panel itself. That is one of the very point of us being competitive to lots of other companies. We have a team of, basically with myself, we are 8 people. We have chemical engineers, we have architects in the team, and we have a university professor as an advisor and 2 other, advisors who are actually the strategic business advisors that helping us throughout the process. Because during the whole process of pandemic, we've been under lots of pressures, but the team was together, and we were still working and we were still developing the technology. And I'm so proud of them because of the whole thing. We've been through a lot together, and during the pandemic, we've been under lots of pressures. We've been in lots of situations happen, but it didn't prevent us to further develop technology and get it to this level that now that we are starting to open up, governments are starting to open up, travels would be easier. Now that we are on that stage, we are also ready to go. So that was actually kind of, when you look at it from the team aspect of the view, in such a situation, I would say having such a team helped. It was actually good because we had like a pause from everything that were happening in the market and the whole everything. And then we returned back and we start developing the technology further and further. Now that everything is opening up, we can actually, we are actually ready to go to the next level. If we could call it challenge, there are always solutions for what you're, faced to, and we are trying to have an understanding about what we are going forward and those challenges, perhaps, as we can call it, and then plan for it before we are facing them. So what's happening right now is that, as a big milestone, I would change the question from challenge to milestone. As a big milestone, we have within 6 months in June, we basically have a big pilot project going on with the collaboration with Toyota Motors Europe in Belgium. We already have shipped the materials to them. They actually sent an email today that we've received the packages and everything. So everything is actually going according to the plans. So we will have a pilot implementation, and the result of that pilot implementation would help us a lot to grow a lot faster. Our valuation of the company would change dramatically in level, and lots of things actually are expected to happen, which we are prepared for it, and we are actually very much looking forward to it. So this is one of the biggest challenges. I've been invited to present to the top management of BMW USA. They have a big construction and real estate going on for their old buildings. They have invited us to speak to their management for 20 minutes on PurCity and what we can do together, which is also another amazing opportunity. So we have lots of conversations ongoing, and the next steps and the next milestones are a lot more exciting what we've been doing so far. But I would say that's the life of entrepreneur. I mean, today you fight for development, and another day you have another challenge that's, okay, this didn't work, that didn't work, how can we fix it, how can we develop it in a better way, how can we make it more efficient? And when you do that, and then the next challenge is, let's install it, test it, who's the partner, how should we grow, what's the investment opportunities, what is the valuation, who's going to be investing. Of entrepreneurship, it's kind of a challenge itself, but as long as you're prepared, I think you're going to be good.